We are closely watching two big developments today surrounding Mahmoud Khalil. He's the graduate student at Columbia University who has led pro-Palestinian protests and is currently being detained.
First today, a New York judge is hearing a case Khalil and several other students are bringing against Columbia. They're trying to prevent the university from sharing their disciplinary records with the government. Also, the Department of Justice has just filed new allegations against Khalil. They claim he withheld his membership in certain organizations, as well as parts of his employment history when he applied for permanent residency in the United States. Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Antonia Hilton. So, Antonia, a lot to unpack here, but let's start with today's hearing. What should we know?
Well, the hearing is still ongoing. Our colleague Adam Reese is there right now getting all the notes and information for us. But this is a hearing about whether or not a restraining order essentially will remain in place. Already it has been for several days, blocking Columbia from sharing that information with lawmakers who are requesting it as part of an effort to investigate Columbia and alleged anti-Semitism on campus. What Khalil and other students named or anonymously named in this lawsuit argue is that sharing this kind of sensitive information about them, the activities, the protests that they've taken part in, is against their privacy and free speech rights. So what we're waiting to see is, does that restraining order remain in place? For how long? Or will it go away now? What's the next stage in this fight? But if you are at home confused because there are a lot of fronts to this fight, that's okay, because there is the Louisiana immigration part of his case here. There's the New Jersey case, and then there's this civil case. There are multiple fronts this story is being fought on.
Well, and to that end, there's a new front that Zinkley mentioned, the Department of Justice raising new allegations against Khalil. What do we know about that?
Yes, that's right. So they added to a filing that they allege that he did not disclose his membership in a number of organizations. So one is a UN agency working on behalf of Palestinian people. Other is employment in a British embassy in Beirut. And that this was important information that should have been included as he applied to become a permanent resident in the U.S. And according to the law here, if you do not disclose certain elements of your membership, your story in that process, that can be considered fraud. I spoke to his legal team, though, and they said that not only are they prepared to push back on that in court, but they called this move desperate. Take a listen to some of my conversation with them.
It revealed how desperate they've become by adding last-minute post hoc justifications to the reasons they initially tried to defend, but obviously cannot defend for his detention. So they've added some sort of preposterous charges.
So what they're essentially saying here is that they're bringing this up after they've already arrested and moved to deport him. And so they can't say that that then was the reason that they arrested him and moved to deport him if they didn't even find this information out and want to include it in filings until after the fact. So what remains to be seen is, well, how does a judge react to that timeline and the dispute there?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.